pull up this clip from Andrew Schulz. I don't know what all of a sudden happened and prompted Andrew.
Is this a YouTube embed or is this an X video? If it looks like this. Oh, this is a X video, I think. Okay.
Schulz to say this. But go ahead and play this clip of Andrew Schulz reacting to what happened between Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens. Go ahead.
He makes the argument for censorship. He calls it something else.
Yeah, I forget the term I have in my phone.
I don't even think he's using the term right, but he's basically like, there's a window of ideas we accept.
Yes.
And we accept ideas between this, I guess this is, if I get window, you're looking like this. So we accept ideas between here and here. And anything outside of that window, well, you're fireable. That's censorship.
What?
But he's acting as if this is like a justified reason for firing people when you built your identity and platform off of no censorship and freedom of speech and facts don't care about your feelings and all this.
It's also funny that window happens to end where his beliefs end.
I am.
Andrew Schulz is completely f***ing wrong, but I don't care. Conservatives have played a dangerous and stupid game for a long time with a lot of different things. One of those things has been with freedom of speech. The First Amendment of the United States applies to the federal government, and I believe subsequently through incorporation, to the state government, saying that the government cannot make laws abridging, meaning attacking or restricting, right? Your freedom of speech without some other types of reason, right? Abridging, right? I'm using that word correctly, right? Let me check. Hold on. Abridging, not bridging. Abridging. To shorten by omission while retaining the basic concept. Something like that. Yeah, okay. No abridgment of your freedom of speech, okay? Republicans for a long time have been playing this stupid f***ing game of invoking the First Amendment, of invoking all of these freedom of speech principles in order to talk about like whether Twitter should ban somebody or whether Facebook bans an account. And the correct answer is no. The First Amendment doesn't apply to these companies because they're private companies. Well, if anything, it applies to those companies that they have a right to choose what they want to apply from what they don't. You can't dictate to these people how they do that. However, the conservatives got so ass-mad by that answer that they started attacking Section 230, saying, well, hold on, no way. If you're going to ban people, that counts as moderating and editing and publishing, and now you're a publisher, so actually you do have to uphold these certain principles. And they went after it that way. I think that Republicans, for a long time, have engaged with this stupid idea of everything is freedom of speech. And all forms of hosting speech and paying people, all of this is freedom of speech. But the reality is the argument is correct on Ben's side that, hold on, just because I'm pro freedom of speech, and on Elon's side, by the way, just because I'm freedom of speech doesn't mean that I have to pay employees that I don't agree with at all. That's not freedom of speech. You're commanding me that I got to pay somebody that I completely disagree with in terms of media? That's ridiculous. Which is true. That is ridiculous. But conservatives have played so fast and loose for so long with the concept of the freedom of speech. This is your grave, okay? You've dug it, and now you're laying in it, right?
You would say that. Being pro-Israel, that's where the window ends. That's also your specific personal belief.
What?
So I just
so
don't see.
You can't have an opinion on your platform that is not pro a country that is not ours?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. It's
crazy.
So is the Daily Wire an American media platform or is it an Israeli media platform? I'm just asking.
This guy's cooking.
I'm just asking. If the rule is, I'm just saying, if the rule is, you can.
Sure. So does that mean that CNN, MSNBC, the New York Times, the Washington Post, are those all Palestinian media platforms? Are those all, is it like Al CNN? Is it Al Jazeera BC? Like, I mean, come on. Bro.
No, if the rule is, I'm just saying, if the rule is you cannot be critical, because he has no problem being very critical of America, or critical of the left in America, left is half the country, you have no problem eviscerating half of the country.
That's the current party in power.
But you can't criticize Israel as a country. It's just another country, unless you were saying, and you were clearly
I also don't like these retarded things like, oh, you can't even criticize that. It was, first of all, do we know why she was fired? And secondly, the issues don't have to do with her probably just being critical. It's the weird Holocaust-y denialism, revisionism, and then all the other weird Jewish she talks about. Who made porn? Like, it's always like when people are like, oh, you can't even question anything about the Holocaust. Of course you can. What do you mean? You probably have a ton of, we could probably do a whole 2 weeks of research on the Holocaust. I'm sure we could do that. It'd be fine. But there's a difference between being like, whenever somebody's like, I genuinely just have questions about the Holocaust. Really? For how long? I don't know. For like 4 or 5 months I've had questions. Okay, well, what are your questions? Well, like, did 6 million really die? Well, I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. It seems like it's hard to track that many people dying. Oh, well, do you know how they did it? No. Do you know where that number comes from? No. Do you know what the records are like? No. Do you know like when most of them were killed? No. Do you know how they were killed? Gas chambers? All of them? Most of them? I don't know. Okay, if you have all these questions, and you've had all these questions for months, and you haven't done any research into it, seems like you don't have any questions at all. Seems like you're not actually curious. Seems like you don't actually give a You're just asking questions to spread a conspiracy. That's it. That's all you're doing. And this is every single person that has questions about the Holocaust. Motherfucker, Wikipedia is free, okay? The Google is free, all right? Libraries are free, right? Look up an article, check out a book, take an elective in college. Jesus, like there's so many different ways to find the answers to your questions out there. How do you have no idea about any of these things that you've supposedly just been asking questions about for a year or 2 or 10? Like, here you are calling out Sneeko on that.
You just don't understand what asking the question is like. Like, you understand you can do a lot of, like, damage by asking certain types of questions.
Asking a question is anti-Semitic.
Okay, if I were to walk around and I were to ask...
Is that what you're saying? Are you saying asking a question is anti-Semitic?
It can be part of it, yeah. If I were
that's absolutely insane, and that's how free speech dies.
If I were to walk around... If I were to
questioning.
No. You're the one killing freedom of speech, okay? Because you're not asking real questions. You're playing word games. Because if you were asking real questions, like how do they know how many Jews died, you wouldn't even ask me that. That's a Google search away. That's literally 2 minutes of reading. But you haven't even done that. So you're not really asking questions. You're making points and you're disguising those points with question marks. And that's why people are claiming it's anti-Semitic. Free speech dies not when we can't ask questions. It's when people pretend to ask questions and bad faith actors destroy the discourse. And we can't have free speech anymore. Yeah, that's what's happening.
You're assuming by me asking a question that I'm making a statement that's grossly exaggerated. That's never
But you are.
I genuinely don't believe that.
Okay, do you think that it's the case that maybe way more Jews died in the Holocaust?
That's possible.
Okay, what do you think is more likely? More Jews or less Jews? If Jewish people are using this story to drum up support for Israel and Jewish people across the world, would they exaggerate it or would they underplay it?
I don't think there's a way to know.
Oh my God.
I am not leaning on either side.
Okay. All right, well, anything else you want to go over?
Fucking kill me, bro.
That the Daily Wire is an arm of the Israeli, I guess, media or propaganda machine? What is that? Oof. Are you manipulating the religious right in America? Are you manipulating the right-wing conservatives in America and selling them country western movies and putting on your little cowboy hat and fake moving to Nashville so that you can take all their money and then in the process restricting free speech, one of the core tenets of the American identity? Ben.
Benjamin.
What is happening? There's trouble in paradise.
For context, Daily Wire's in Nashville, but he's in Florida. But yeah, what do you think about his points?
I mean, it makes a valid point, right? And I sent Rob another video of Ben kind of contradicting himself, but he's 100% right. Like what? And by the way, that's what attracted me to Ben Shapiro in the first place. That dialogue, that everybody say what you want, do what you want. Facts don't care about your feelings. This is a place where you can say anything except that one topic. And we obviously know Ben is 1,000% Israel. We get it. It's no secret. They could do no wrong. And can we play this, Patrick? I sent Rob this clip of Ben basically contradicting himself.
We have literally tens of millions of people in the United States who are afraid that the cancel culture is coming up for them. And cancel culture does exist. Okay, so what this results in very, very often is corporations looking to cram down a particular viewpoint on you and then cancel you. When it comes to the hosts on the Daily Wire, obviously everyone's able to say what they want. But the reality is that there is an Overton window at the Daily Wire. There are polls out there that show that a vast majority of Americans in every single political group, including liberals, feel and then cancel you. When it comes to coming up for, we have...
Hold on. I need to listen to these closely. 1 second.
Can we play this, Patrick? I sent Rob this clip of Ben basically contradicting himself.
We have literally tens of millions of people in the United States who are afraid that the cancel culture is coming up for them. And cancel culture does exist. Okay, so what this results in very, very often is corporations looking to cram down a particular viewpoint on you and then cancel you. When it comes to the hosts on the Daily Wire, obviously everyone is able to say what they want. But the reality is that there is an Overton window at the Daily Wire. There are polls out there that show that a vast majority of Americans in every single political group, including liberals, feel like they cannot say what they want to say in public because they're afraid that they are going to be canceled, fired, cast out from polite society.
And then
this actually happened to a socialist moron named Nathan Robinson. He got canceled from The Guardian.
He's basically saying
he got canceled from The Guardian because he had put up some anti-Israel tweets. Okay, now I think he's an idiot. I think that his views on Israel are abhorrent, but I don't think that he should lose his columnist spot over at The Guardian. That's a different story, obviously, when it comes to any publisher. Any publisher gets to make decisions about what it wishes to purvey and not. He certainly would not
basically everything he's saying, he used to say, now he's... So he went against his word on basically everything that he said.
Look, like this is like a childlike understanding of freedom of speech or cancel culture. Like cancel culture is when I call my boss the N-word and he fires me. Wow, some freedom of speech I have. Cancel culture is when I, start tweeting out that I think the Holocaust is fake and my Jewish boss fires me. Wow, nice freedom of speech there, guys. Wow, look, the First Amendment is dying every day, every single time. Yeah, so I posted pictures of my on my Facebook. Who cares? I'm fired now. Nice freedom of speech there, chief. Wow. Come on, this is like a childlike understanding. This is the guy that dodged the debate with me, by the way, and he's smart. He is smarter than I thought he was because he was smart to dodge that debate. Do you think Ben is contradicting himself? In these clips? No, not really. I think in general conservatives, and he might have in other ones, but not in these ones. I think in general conservatives leaned way too hard to that freedom of speech is everything card. But this is not a contradiction of being afraid or saying that like cancel culture has gone too far. I think that cancel culture has gone too far. And I wouldn't hire, and I am a huge believer in the First Amendment, probably more so than people on the left and right, okay? I love the First Amendment, all right? But that wouldn't mean that I would hire people that, I'm not gonna hire a fucking communist. I'm not gonna hire a fucking to be part of like my media crew or whatever. Like, I have the right to choose who I want to pay and what kind of views I want to espouse. That's not the same as saying which views should be allowed to be espoused legally in society as the ones I want to pay for.